Tamika Radio Show. The Tamika Radio Show. The Tamika Radio Show. Tamika Radio Show.
Thank you so much for joining the show.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me so much.
Well, I'm so excited to have you on here. I feel a little starstruck. I think any pageant girl is excited to speak to Michele Strom right now. So thank you so much.
That's so sweet of you to say.
Well, let me just ask you, because, of course, you know, you're known, number one, as the CEO of Winning Crown Boutique, located in Nebraska. But now, of course, you've burst onto the reality TV scene, and I want to know, does it feel different now kind of being known as Michele from Obsessed with the Dress? Do you have any feelings about that?
It really is different because, first and foremost, I think of myself as, this mom from Omaha, Nebraska to two beautiful children. And, just fortunate enough that I run a very successful, fun business that I'm really passionate about, which is the Winning Crown. And now we have this whole reality show. And so for me, it's taken a few weeks now for it to really sink in. And to see your face on TV is really a strange thing. But I think people are enjoying watching. They are loving the fact that it's not something super negative against pageantry, because all of us that are involved, are typically very passionate about pageantry, and it's nice to see something that has a little bit more positive spin.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm really enjoying the show. I enjoy everybody that works there. They're so funny. So I love tuning in every single week to see what's going to happen. And you actually mentioned the fact that you are a mother of two. So I want to know, how do you balance it all? I mean, as you said, you run a successful business. In addition to running, the boutique, you are a pageant coach. So you're always going around with clients, and you're a mom, and now you're on TV. How in the world do you balance everything?
I think I balance it because I have two amazing children that are willing to kind of go with the flow, and, they come with me when I go to pageants. They are always around. We're a very tight little group, and so I just feel like I couldn't do it if they weren't as amazing as they are. But truly, being a business owner and being an entrepreneur, that's my passion. And being able to pick my schedule and pick and choose what I want to be present at is why I do what I do. I am able to take my kids to school every day and pick them up and arrange my schedule around their schedules. And that's really why I do what I do. Is I'm passionate about pageantry, but I love the fact that I can be at every event for my kids and, be there for drop off and pick up at school. That's really why I decided to do my business.
And, I think that's amazing. I'm the mother to 4 kids, and so I know for myself that's the dream, is truly being able to do exactly what you do. You're able to not only run your business, but to be there for your kids. I think every mom wants that opportunity. And, so let's get started very quickly and talk about, how did you jump into this life of pageantry? I mean, how did the glitz and glam start for you?
Well, it all started back probably mid-2005. I was helping a friend who was competing in the Mrs. Nebraska pageant, and I was doing her makeup. And we kind of made a little side bet, and she somehow roped me into competing in 2007. And I was fortunate enough to be able to win my first time and go off to Mrs. America and was second runner-up. So really, this just snowballed for me. I was always just kind of on the sidelines of pageants, and now, was just kind of jumped in with both feet and haven't looked back. So I've been very fortunate. I'd say a little bit of luck, was always involved in pageantry, and really just being at the right place at the right time. So it's all just worked out like a dream.
Well, and really it's amazing how you've been able to just, jump in, head first with everything. I mean, you went from competing, and most of us do not have that story, being able to win on our first try, so that's amazing, number one. But, I want to know, what gave you the courage to step out on faith and open up, your high-end store in Nebraska. And, because I'm sure you probably had naysayers that said, you don't need to do it here of all places. But what gave you that courage to do that?
I think I am an entrepreneur at heart. I'm always looking for, a way to improve my family's life by being able to set my own schedule and be my own boss. And I just felt like there was a need for this. There was nowhere to go in the state of Nebraska for a pageant gown or any kind of high-end gown. And I just felt like there was just this need. So I actually started out of my home, and my biggest naysayer was probably my ex-husband. He was not a huge supporter in jumping into something like this. I'm a very traditional business person, and I'm more of a risk taker. I'm willing to kind of put myself out there, and if I fail, I fail, but I'm going to at least say that I gave it my best shot. And I've done that, I think, with everything in life. I'm never quite happy with the status quo. I'm always kind of looking for something new, something great, and a way to help people, and this definitely fit the bill. And so I opened out of my home, and it quickly grew, so I had to find a retail location, and that's where I ended up in Rockbrook, and I've been there ever since in Omaha. And it's just steadily grown over the years. And I think the biggest reason why is that we produce winners. We have girls that have won all over the country. And we don't just sell people a dress. We really try to find the perfect dress. And sometimes, I feel like I have to kind of turn clients away sometimes because I might not be able to find them the perfect dress and bring them back at another time when I feel like I have something that will work for them. So I definitely don't settle for, just any dress on somebody. It needs to be perfect all the time because I always say that not only do I not do second place, I think that it's my reputation on the line every single time that they're up there on that stage. And if somebody says, wow, who dressed that girl? She looks horrible, is putting my business in a bad light. So it's really my goal to make sure every single girl looks amazing every time they step on that stage.
And, I definitely see that by watching the show. I mean, I love the fact that you and your entire staff, you'll let somebody know, okay, that does not look good on you. You don't need to do it. Or, that is not a winning gown for you, honey. So
right, exactly.
I love the fact that you are always honest about that. And, I think in pageantry, a lot of times we don't have that. You have somebody that walks in and either they are a queen going on to a national level or trying to win their state title, and people tell you what you want to hear. And so I love the fact that you do take it so seriously.
You're exactly right. I think that people don't want to rock the boat. They want to just make a sale and get the girl in and out and collect her money. And I am just not about that. I'm more of okay, there's going to be a dress in here. It just may take us some time to find it, but I'm going to find the perfect dress for this girl. And it just sometimes takes a little bit of time. But I would never put somebody on a stage when I thought, that's really not a great dress for her because it's my name out there as well.
Absolutely. So, I heard you say that you've had clients from all over the country. So how do you work with somebody out of state? Do they need to fly into Nebraska to work with you, or are you able to kind of work with them long distance? How do you do that?
We do a little bit of everything. If somebody's not willing to fly in, maybe they don't have the funds to do so or the time, we can actually pick a dress through email and just sending pictures back and forth, getting to know a little bit more about the client, what she looks like, what her best features are, her measurements, her height, everything. And then I feel pretty confident in being able to pick out a dress for her. But most clients will actually take the time and fly in because these clients are serious. I feel like we get a lot of serious competitors that are really looking to better themselves as well as win the title. So we get the best of the best, I think, that fly in. And like I said, those that are serious. We do a lot of Skype sessions as well for coaching. We'll do interview training, intro training, anything like that over Skype. And that seems to work out really nice as well for those that are really busy.
So, Michele, with the pageant season kind of ending for national pageants and with the state season getting ready to really pick up, I wanted to just ask you, what are some of the trends that you are seeing going forward?
Yeah, I'm actually seeing interesting necklines on dresses right now, very delicate tops that are crystals that maybe kind of go off the shoulder that have a higher neckline, which I'm actually pleased about because I'm not a huge fan of just big plunging necklines with maybe their boobs hanging out. I prefer girls to be a little bit more covered, a little bit more modest. We're seeing really open backs because with a high neckline, a lot of times you're getting an open back. And I'm seeing still beautiful flowy chiffon dresses. So I like the trends that I'm seeing right now. It's very different, it's unique, and it's just very delicate and beautiful.
And I love the fact that it is seeming to take a shift, and it's a very beautiful, classy look that's really coming about right now. So I'm excited to see that too. Definitely excited to see that. And you are the master at dressing winners. So if you could.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, well, we see it all the time, and everybody uses the same motto in the store. You all dress winners. So what are, maybe one or two tips that you would give to somebody that's trying to choose that perfect dress for competition?
Well, I think number one, the fit of the dress is most important. The dress has to accentuate your assets, not the model in the catalog. So if you have a small waist, you're going to try and accentuate that. If you have a great neckline or great legs, you're going to accentuate that on yourself. So I think often girls are picking dresses based on how it looks on the model in a catalog or how it's hanging on the hanger or what a previous winner might have won. But you really have to play up your best assets and make sure that the dress fits. Number two, I think, is the color of the dress, but you should always pick on the fit first, color second. That's what's most important is how that dress fits.
Absolutely. I mean, that's some good stuff. Good stuff. And very quickly, how different is it for you to do what you do, but to do it on TV? Because people are always questioning, is this really reality TV? Or, everybody questions that about anything that they watch. And I personally am a reality TV junkie. But, how are you able to really do everything that you're doing, but, actually do that in front of a bunch of cameras in your face?
With the TV experience, I felt like a little bit of my filter was gone, which was kind of nice. I was able to just say it how it is. And I do say it how it is usually in my store as well, but I think even more so with TV cameras, which was actually a fun experience. You kind of forget the cameras are there after a while. They're there to just kind of capture the moments of what I do for a living, and if that's dressing winners, it's just fun that they're there to take part in everything that I did. Our show, I think, is about as real as it gets. You're able to really see the banter between the employees because there's always workplace drama everywhere you go and we work at. And it's just fun to kind of just see it actually happen in front of your eyes. So I really hope people will tune in, especially if you're into pageants. This is a great show just to be part of, the whole dressing experience and be part of the pageant and see how the girl ends up, if she wins or if she doesn't. And it's just fun to see what the employees go through with our clients as well.
Michele, one thing that I love about the Winning Crown is that everyone that you have there, they all have pageant experience. They've all been winners or, have some experience with either designing or what have you. I think that's really awesome and speaks to part of the reason why you are so successful. Because I know myself, I've gone to different boutiques and people, they don't know what's going on. So they try to put you in a prom dress, and a prom dress doesn't work on stage necessarily, So
Right,
I love that whole fact.
Each person that I have put on my staff has something unique. Sarah, she's one that tells it like it is. She's very confident. She knows different systems really well. And that's what I love about her. And, we've got Tiffany who's able to sketch my visions for dresses, and that comes in very handy. And Bo is just very good at knowing what looks great on women. So everybody was hired for a reason, and I do think that is a reason why we're successful. And it's another reason why I can multitask as well as I do is that I have great people that I can rely on.
Absolutely. So when can people actually watch you on Obsessed with the Dress?
Well, we're on WeTV, so you'll have to check your local listing on where exactly you can find that channel. but we are on 11/10 Central every Friday night, and if you don't get the We channel, you can actually download a season pass on iTunes and watch everything right there. And we're on demand. If you miss a show, we're on demand, so you can watch a show anytime you want.
Awesome. And Michele, how can people find you? How can they find the Winning Crown? How can people connect with you?
Well, we make it very easy. We're on every social media site there is. You can follow myself on Twitter. It's Michele M. Strom, or just go to our website, winningcrown.com, and every bit of information is right there at your fingertips, and you can reach right out to us. We'd love to work with people no matter where you live, and we want to add people to our list of winners. So we're looking for our fall projects right now, and we want people to come in and help them win.
Awesome. Well, Michele, thank you so much for spending time with Pageant Insider Radio. So excited you took your time out tonight to talk to us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.